Can you hear me now? Finally. The hell? Welcome in, everybody. My name is Josh. This is Gaming Joy Channel, and we are fighting with sound. As usual, I guess. Now we're fighting with the game loading. Let's make sure I have the game set up properly. Nope. That's secret. Can't see that. Nope, not that one. That one. Not that one. That one. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going today? My name is Josh. We are getting started. Sorry about the slight delay. We're having audio problems. It was weird. It was coming through and it was being transmitted, and then I had to reboot the streaming PC, and then I had to reboot the gaming PC, and oh my gosh, so annoying. But welcome in, everybody. How's it going? You guys having fun? What's that background image? That's a square by modded square picture. Yeah, OBS is not working either, so it's just not fun right now. All right, we're gonna look at let me turn that music down. All right, let's get started. So today we're gonna go in and we're gonna check out a couple really big maps, and those really big maps are, we're talking 4x, sometimes one of them's a 16x map. And it's interesting if you think about it. We had these maps that we looked at last week or yesterday that were, you know, regular 2x maps, and a couple of them were okay. One of them I really like personally, but we looked at a couple maps that were regular size maps, and they had fields and stuff, but they weren't really decorated. And I think that's the thing that I personally, and this is just me, you guys can disagree all you want, have fun, but I think decoration plays a large part in how a map feels, right? Like whether it feels good to you, whether it feels playable, whether you can be there for a long time and enjoy it. I think the decoration and the details is what matters. It's the devil's in the details, or whatever that phrase is. I don't know what that phrase is. But we're going to look here. So I'm actually already doing some stuff on this map. And it looks like my contract reset, which is not good. Okay, there. It went back to normal. Okay. All right, so we are on NF Marsh. And this is by the Fed Action Group, FA. Welcome to Always Involved. Thank you for being a sponsor, Dale. Thank you so much for the support. And real glasses, I know. So this is Fed Action, and this is the map. And so, as you can see, just starting off, just logging into the map and looking at the store. Like, we look at our store. This is kind of the store from this store's been used in a bunch of maps. It's actually being used in the other 4x map that just got released. And they've taken the time to go in and say thank you to everyone. So all the people who've helped them, usernames and stuff are on the wall. Obviously, this would never go to Giants, because Giants would never allow something like this. These are all the Twitch followers for their group. You've got this. These are all the YouTube members. You've got like the Fed Action special people. This is basically their way of saying thank you to everyone who's made it, right? But I mean, I think you get even like little stuff, like exactly Northern Farm Sim. You get the stains on the ground. You get the lines on the ground. You get the little curbs and the cracks and the little details and the manhole covers and the trash. So there's decorations that are part of the map. And I think that decorating a map is equally important to making a map, to make it feel playable. Like this whole area, like you're never going to go over here in this corner unless you're me, right? Or unless you're looking for collectibles or something, right? And so most of this stuff is never going to be seen by the average player. But, you know, even this, like here we have a dealership and we have a harvester sitting out front. And we have little ropes with collisions. We have traffic cones that cannot be picked up. And we have a harvester on display. Can I jump in here? There's even a collision, like a wall. You can't even get into where this harvester is, so it's totally just display. Interesting. You got flowers along the wall. You got people walking down a sidewalk, an actual sidewalk. Look at that, folks. A sidewalk in Farm Sim. Imagine that. You've got all the tractors on display and stuff like that. This is just the store. And so I think this is like a kind of a note to any map maker, is that, yeah, you can make a store and you can have it have stuff, but unless you actually do something with it or make it look nice, it's not going to feel lived in. It's not going to feel real. You know what I mean? And I think that's a kind of a key to what's going on here. So instead of starting completely fresh, we started on new farmer mode. It gave me myself a lot of money. I had to buy a bunch of equipment to test a bunch of stuff. Let's go take a quick look at the map itself. And then we'll kind of look at the details as we fly by. So, flight. And we take off. And so if we just jump up in the sky, we're still kind of over the shop's right here. If we look, this is not really my kind of map, honestly, and I probably wouldn't play it, mainly because it's super flat. And I'm not usually a fan of super flat, so this is probably not my type, my type of map. So we got a super flat map, but this is a 4X map. So normally a regular map would probably end around right here or right here, but this one goes all the way out there. It's basically a little peninsula surrounded by water with some gigantic fields, right? This is your starting farm. We'll head there in a minute, but I'm going to go and just fly over the place. And just take a look at what's here. Like we've got a stadium with colored seats and cars in the parking lot. We've got a BGA, one of 2 BGAs on the map. We've got these massive fields. This is all grass. This is canola. There's like 7 or 8 custom crops on this map. We've got this like aqueduct, not aqueduct, like a river. It's funny. You have little, what do they call these? Gutters? They're not called gutters. I'll think of the name in a minute. And then you got these big mounds covering a field. I'm currently doing this is a potato field. I would not want to harvest this potato field. And actually, let's go over to our ditches. Thank you. And so there's 2 versions of this map. You can download one with ditches, one without ditches. So if you really don't want the ditches, fill unit add 1. We're going to go back to I had to get that guy working again. So, and just to show you the scale of this field 89, if we look at the PDA, is the biggest field on the map. Field 89 is like, if you draw like virtual lines on here, on this window, this is the whole PDA. If you go from like let's see here. If we go straight across field 84, across this, imagine this is the center line right here. And imagine this right here is the center line here. Field 89 is like a quarter of a, more than a quarter of a regular size map. If a regular size map goes to like here to here, it's a little bit bigger than a quarter of a regular map. It's incredible. The scale is something you have to kind of get used to. So this is a potato field. I would never want to harvest this, but I'm doing a spraying contract. Where's the sprayer? Here he is. It looks tiny, but this is a 54-meter sprayer. It's the biggest sprayer in the game. It's a 54-meter sprayer, and look at the size of it. The best part is $309,000 for a spraying contract. Yes, it's being contract boosted. So if we take off contract boost and go down to the normal rate, it's $206,000. It's still ridiculous, right? Yeah, I would never want to harvest that without the Colossus. But anyways, let's go back to the map. And so we've got lots of really big flat fields. If this is what you like, then go for it. You're going to have to use lots of courseplay and AI. I love that there's a dock. I love that there's buoys in the water, the green and red buoys, which are normal for any kind of there's waterways. And I think it's funny that the dock is like right next to a transfer station. And there's a transfer station sell point type thing here, so you can transfer into the boat. And this boat obviously has grain in it. It doesn't move, which is a bummer. This doesn't open, which is a bummer. But you can't really go anywhere anyways. So, but again, I'm going very fast over these large fields. The fields aren't perfectly square. A lot of times you get stuff like this where you get little indents or whatever, where you get roads that, like, I imagine there should be a windmill right here, but there isn't right now. And you can put one there if you want. This is the Fed Action map. This is NF Marsh. And I don't know if it's marsh because it's kind of marshy land, but it's because it's what's called NF Marsh or March. I can look. Here. Yeah, MARSCH. And it is a 4X map. It's listed on a bunch of places, but I got it directly from them. But Marsh. I'm saying Marsh because that's what it looks like to me. Whatever. But as you can see, there's a lot of like nice little details. You're right. Like this is like the grain mill. This looks kind of like the grain mill from 22. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you know, like lots of little water things. You got rocks along the coast. Like no one's ever going to come over here, but it's here. It's decoration. You've got water breaks. These are breaks to keep the waves from getting too big. You've got like a nice little town area over here with not just with like not portable houses, what are these called? Trailer houses, but each one has a little fence and a sitting area and trash cans, recycling bins and flowers and plants and stuff. Like they took the time to decorate. Like look at this yard. This is just a random house in the middle of nowhere. Got a car parked in the driveway, got multiple flower beds, got multiple things around, benches and chairs and seats and yada yada yada, bushes. The grass is not all one length, it's multiple lengths. Like they didn't do a very good job mowing. There's weeds, there's flowers, there's kind of forest ground and trees. Like it's, you know what I mean, like they took the time to decorate and make look legit every single area around the map. Even like a little corner here with a little steps up here. Like the amount of detail in this is astounding, and it's a 4X map. Now with a 4X map you have 4 times the landmass, so you have 4 times the amount of decoration to do. Even if you, I mean, maybe not 4 times, maybe 2 times as much decoration to do because, you know, a lot of your 4X, most 4X maps, like this one, have very big fields, right? Well, that's just the way it is. But this is a big and open field. So you, getting over the aqueduct channel things, getting over the channels is going to be challenging. If you this is the ditch version, you can get the version without ditches, and it'll remove all of these ditches. So if you don't like ditches, then take it off. You've got like a grain mill kind of place here. I don't know, and I think there's a sell point trigger in here. Yep, there is. As of right now, the current version of this map is set up with just sell points. So if we look at our prices screen, see how it says grain AG, grain trade, harbor, island sale, Rafison, right? Those are basically the main places, and those are the places we've seen. But there's no productions on this map. There's 2 BGAs, and then something says grain shopping will follow. I think they mean grain selling, but they have this thing where it says right here, it says recipe. The recipe is going to be 100 cash boxes for 167 barley. So 167,000 liters of barley, you're going to get 100 cash boxes. So they have big plans for productions. And part of this map, you have to include a production, a pack of production assets and a pack of building assets. So a lot of these buildings are their buildings. These are the Fed Action buildings. These buildings look nice, though. All of them have the 3D window things. And they're all decorated very nicely. I'm happy to see it. Yeah, it was on. Someone re-uploaded on King Mods, but I got it directly from Fed Action. And if you can, whenever you're downloading mods, especially maps like this that are not necessarily done or almost done, you always want to get from the original mod author. Like this little hamlet here, circle around a lake. Like that's just cool. Like this little area here would have taken a map maker a couple hours at least to make it look right and to make it look real and legit. Making a big field like this wouldn't have taken very long, but you know, there's a lot of work that went into this map, as well as, you know, any big map. But I think the level of detail here is the part that makes me happy. It's because this is not just a building placed in the middle of an empty lot. Yeah. Bruce, they didn't release it. No, they did not release it on King Mods. So, you need to get it from here. I'll show you the website. This is the Fed Action website, and it's right here. So, translate to English. Here we go. So you have this is the nfedaction.letsplay.de. This is their official site. This is where you get it. And if you need those other maps, go ahead. But to play the map, you have 2 versions, and they have 2 different, either on Files Admin or Share Mods. So you can, whichever one is better for you to download. I think Files Admin is better for European customers. Share Mods is better for US customers. I did Share Mods because the Share Mods download process is in English, so it's a little bit easier to follow. But you need either this version, which is the regular version, or this version, which is the one without trenches. And we can look at the one without trenches soon. And then if you look here, this is the description. Multi-fruit, 10 new types of fruit, 5 new types of bales, typical North Frisson low landscape. They've done the same map before. This is sort of a convert, I think. I like that they're doing. This is the list of bugs that they're fixing for the next update, and they're keeping this active. This is the list of things they've already fixed. So if you find one of these things, if you don't like the Hoist and Rafison or building exempt, whatever that means, they're probably already fixing it. So this is the list of bugs that they're currently working on, and they will be fixing in the next update. So they're being active in telling people about what's they need. But you need this mods pack also, right? Files admin link, and then the production pack. And I think a lot of them are right now on this map, they're placeholders. So a lot of these buildings, like this is not a Giants building, this is an Aldi, which is a real life store. If you look, it actually has stuff inside. Like it looks like a grocery store, right? Custom gas stations, custom houses. Every house is decorated. Every house has a little plot of land. Some of them have fake greenhouses. It's the level of detail on this map is I would totally play. This is the type of map I'm looking for. When I'm looking for are they ready? One of the things I'm looking for personally is completeness and details and taking the time to actually do details. We also have a mine here. We have rock, sand, and pay dirt, I believe. I can confirm. But there are no productions for those things yet. So dirt is one of the items that you're going to need. If we go in here to this, if we look at the commodities, we have a couple new things. Legume straw, which I wish was capitalized properly. Triticale. They have new icons for every single crop type, which personally I find annoying because you get used to the normal icons. So when you have a fill type in your vehicle, you're like, oh, I know what this. Wait, now this field piece icon is totally different. Corn looks normal, but some of them like barley, being able to tell the difference between barley and oat and rye and sorghum and soybeans and summer barley and winter barley, summer wheat and triticale and wheat. Like there's a lot of things there that you have to like remember what they look like. You know what I mean? Like lime doesn't look like lime anymore. Lime looks like a bag of lime. Gravel looks like a thing of gravel. So this is going to be gravel right here. Is it sand? I think it's sand. Wool has a different icon. A lot of these things have all custom icons. So they spend a lot of time making custom icons, which is great. So if you like big fields, big map, go for it. One of the cool things is they did leave a few places like this right here, unfinished, open plots of lands you can go in ahead and buy. Being that it's a 4X map, like right here where I'm hovering over right now is all grass. $322,000 to buy this plot of land. Now remember, that's 4.67 hectares, right? This grass field, $748,000. So to buy this like square of land, you're talking $1.3 million. It's a significant amount of investment, but these are 4X fields. 4X map. So there's a lot of decorative places. Like this is not a farm. This is decorative. And you can't buy it. So there is a little bit of open areas that you can't buy. Trying to look for the overlapping number. So 96 buys all those things. 167. I think 96 buys the where the windmills are. 167 buys these, and you can buy each one of these grassy areas, but you can't buy the roads. You can't. There's definitely a unbuyable land here that is not you can't buy. And that's just the way it is. Overall, big map, big fields, and the fields are pretty flat. This is typical for the landscape in the area, so it's accurate to where they're building, but you're talking flat. Lots of decorations. Spelt looks just like barley or wheat, right? This is summer barley, which looks just like barley. You have summer barley and winter barley, and I think the difference is the spelt. There's some custom crops here. I'm trying to find them. Sorghum is in rows. This is triticale, which looks just like wheat. Maybe it is wheat. I don't know. I'm harvesting. Where's my farm? Is there any left before the harvester gets it all? Almost. I just made it. This is field peas, summer wheat, and then right over here, broad beans. So again, they've added a couple more crops, and I think the big reason they added those extra crops is the growth calendar. So, like, or if I scroll down and look, like summer wheat and summer barley, your planting season is March, April, May, with harvest towards the end of the summer. Whereas regular wheat, your planting season is September, October, November, with a harvest the beginning of the summer. So obviously, just which is normal, which is real. Those are real things. And you have more crops on the calendar. The regular crops, they didn't change, but they're kind of interspersed. Broad beans is here. Alfalfa is here. So we do have alfalfa. Right? Pretty cool, right? I started, so this is your main farm, and this is where you start off. Your list of starting equipment is, most of it's still here. You've got, seeder, cultivator, plow. You've got that harvester that's in the field. You've got a John Deere tractor. Can I get out of this building without crashing into things? What the hell? You've got 2 Fendt tractors. You've got a John Deere tractor. I bought a couple balers to test out round bales and square bales. So as you can see, this is the legume straw, which you get from beans or peas. So legume straw, this is what legume straw looks like on the ground. It's not, you don't get very much, but you get it. This is alfalfa. This is what alfalfa looks like. It's pretty standard alfalfa. And this is what alfalfa looks like on the ground from being mowed. And this is what the alfalfa bales look like. They look very similar to grass bales, but they have a little bit of a bright green to them. These are the alfalfa round bales. Again, a little bit of a brighter neon-y green color to them. And these are the 3 different sizes. But I mean, overall, that's NFR. No, so here's the downside with this. Right now, the map is mostly playable. Right, and again, part of the like the start screen for this map was, are they ready to play? And the answer here is sort of. Right? Yes, the maps are ready to play. Yes, you can play them. As you can see, I've been harvesting. But, like... But let's talk about it, right? Whoops. Did I turn off flight mode? I didn't hit enter, okay. Turn off the flashlight. Get rid of the flashlight. So here's the problem. There are some things that are still missed. All of the productions, the custom productions, that are normally in this map, like to deal with the mine and all of these special crops, those are not here. There are no productions on the map yet. Even regular everyday productions like a dairy or a spinnery. And then also, they haven't set up the fill types properly. So this is a standard base game silo, but it's not a multi-fruit silo. And that's the default one that's on the map. Now, if I wanted to, I believe I can come in here, and I talked to someone about this. This is the Fed mod custom silo. It should already be multi-fruit, but it's not. Like, this is the crop that was on the map, on the starter farm. I went and harvested it, and then you get here, and you can't even put it into the silo that comes with the map. Like, to me, that's a bummer, right? You have all of these Fed Action mods silos. So if we take this one out... Actually, hold on. Why is there... Oh, you know what? I could be wrong. Hold on. I could be very wrong. Hold, please. I just realized this silo has 2 sides to it. Hold on. I've never seen a silo set up this way. So I've never played a faction map. I've toured them before. Oh, cool. So it is set up. So it is. So I guess this is the one thing I thought was broken. It's not broken. I kind of like how it has a dump side and a fill side. I actually kind of like that. To me, that feels logical. But having this grate here, this big grate, which looks like a dump grate, kind of threw me off. But that's okay. So yes, it does work to hold all of the custom crops. One thing off my checklist that I thought was broken. One thing that is, and I don't know if this is base game or with the map itself, but bales have a tendency to sort of kind of fall through the map. And I don't know if that's just the map, but I can't see if I can get it to happen. When they come out of the baler, they're like, they stick out of the ground, like they're hanging out of the ground like that, right? Which is kind of weird. But I think the big thing, and I think the point that CBW is saying, if you start playing this map, and then they add all of the productions and all of that kind of stuff, you're going to have to start a new save game. Because that is new items that are placed onto the map that change how the map works. Which means that you're going to have to play a new save game to be able to get those new things. And to me, I wouldn't start playing this map for that reason alone. I mean, the map works. It looks good. The interactions are good, but and it's playable as it is. But I think until the productions are ready, I wouldn't start playing it. Just because, you know, you can play it to test it if you want. But I wouldn't start playing it to play because the production part is going to make you need a new save game. And that's kind of a bummer. I don't know if you can see that. It just came out, but the bales don't sit right on the ground. I don't know if that's a Giants bug or what, but and that spraying contract is still going on. I've put 40,000 liters of herbicide in this sprayer so far. No, 36,000 liters of herbicide in this sprayer so far. And I'm about, I'm 66% done. So, just to spray this one field, you're going to have to put in about 50,000 liters of herbicide. But because the fields are mostly square and soft corners, you know, they're not like a lot of weird corners. For the most part, you're going to get good AI usage. And I think overall, in general, the map looks good. And I think that's the big thing for me, is that the map does look good. And so if you don't really care about productions and all that kind of jazz, and you just want to play the map, go for it. I wouldn't get too invested into it. Like if you just want to test it out, I'd wait for the production. Specifically, because of the gravel mine, like the gravel, limestone, and all kind of stuff, whatever that stuff is, until that gets fixed and the new productions added to the map, I wouldn't start playing it until that stuff's in there. But I say hats off to them, honestly. What they've gotten so far with and the level of detail that they have. Now, I know that they've had this map out in previous versions of the game, but it looks good, honestly. Oh, that thing doesn't have collisions. I'm swimming. I was hoping to get up on the dock, but I don't think it's going to happen. The dock's too tall. No. I'm stuck in the water. Oh, here it is. See? Nice. Oh, you can't get out. uh... Anyways, it's a big map, and I think my biggest thing is it's decorated nicely. It's decorated really nicely, and I think that a lot of people would enjoy it. Um, there's more than enough stuff to do if that's what you're looking for, but again, I'd wait for the productions to be ready. But once they're ready, it's a pretty good map. Not my kind of map, but it's a pretty good map. Let's quit out real quick and check out the ditch-free version. Career. I think the OG is the ditch-free version. And I don't really know which mods are required, so I'm just going to take them all. I still haven't found this spot, but I haven't been really looking for it. I think if they took out a lot of this stuff, right? I think that this could be a really popular map on ModHub in 4X, right? I think it could be very popular. This stuff is going to prevent them from doing it, right? The logos, the YouTube links, all the players' names in the store, the fact that they have, I'll show you real quick. Compiling shaders is now a part of it. If I go into this mode and look at the contracts, let me get some contracts. Plenty of contracts on this map. Some of them are going to be big, big money. If we look at the contracts, there are custom people in the contracts that they have added in real life people into the contract people in the map. They've also changed the names, so Walter is not just Walter; he's Walter Broderson. This guy is Torge Nommensen. This lady is I'm not going to pronounce that. There's this guy. I don't know who he is. There's this chick. I guess Shelly is important to Fed Action. Maybe it's his wife or girlfriend or something. And then Fed Action himself has his own headshot in here with a round headshot, which is kind of odd. But they have their own custom avatars in here as NPCs, which leads me to believe that it's not going to happen. But now we have no ditches. So right here used to be a ditch. We go into flight mode. We come over to the aqueduct. That's where we saw the ditches before. Before, they had a ditch on this side and a ditch on this side. And those ditches are just not there. So it's a different version of the map. Everything else is the same. All of the placeables are the same. All of the fields are the same. But where there were ditches, like ditches everywhere, if you remember, like all over the place there were ditches. This is the ditch-free version. So most people would probably play this version. This is the OG version because there's no ditches. But some people like the ditches, the ditch thing. Like this right here along this field was a ditch before. It's not anymore. So it's whatever you want. I think the ditches add a little bit to gameplay because it makes you try to figure out how to get in and out of places. This is how your starting equipment is when you log in. By the way, just your stuff in this garage here. Stuff there. And mowers and tankers and yada, yada, yada. All that stuff is all there. Pretty cool. I think it's a nice map. I wouldn't play it yet. And I wouldn't play it in general personally, but I think a lot of people would. I think this would be a really nice map. But above all, I think this meets the Giants level of decoration. And I think that's something we haven't seen in almost any of the maps that we've beta tested so far. This meets that Giants level of decoration and uniqueness. I didn't figure out if you could buy the land that the windmills are on and make money from them, but I bet you can. Anyways, we're not going to save this version. We're going to go ahead and quit out and do the other map. So we have just one other map to do. Now this other map, I'm not going to pronounce because I'm really bad at pronouncing non-English names, but I'll try. The other map that we're going to do is Rugenerland. Rugenerland. I don't know. Seriously? Rugenerland. I guess. We don't need the Fed Action mods. And this is by Hirsch6920, which Giants would never allow someone to put their username in the picture. So. Double ditches and triple fences. I think so. That's really great, Steve. If you want to play this map, having an auto drive course for a map. Anytime I play 4X maps, I want there to be an auto drive course because I'm not going to want to actually drive everything, because I'm going to want to use the automation that comes with auto drive and courseplay to automate some stuff. And by the way, I actually haven't even touched auto drive yet in 25. I haven't. And so here we are. We're logged into Rugenerland. There's just like an extra syllable in there that I think is bothering me. But again, right here, right off the bat, look at the level of decoration. It isn't just a farmhouse. It's a farmhouse with flower pots and hanging flowers and laundry on the thing with a laundry rack and flower pot and a grill and a couple of stumps, and we're chopping some wood and flowers on the windowsills, like a beach ball floating in the air that you can pick up and throw. The collision on this pool is wrong, so I think that's why the beach ball is being weird. Let's put the beach ball up in here. Here, beach ball can go on the trampoline. But the level of detail here, I think, is great. I love this ground texture. If this is a custom ground texture with all the cracks, I love it. I want it. This ground texture looks fantastic to me. I think this looks great. I think look at the it's not just grass. Like this is what a lot of map authors kind of miss on, right? They just paint grass and they don't put in anything else, but like with the weeds and flowers and bushes and yada yada yada, like all of that stuff makes it feel real. Like, yes, you're using these big huge trees which suck for forestry, but it's not meant to be cut down. It's meant to show your farm, right? Anyways, this is the farm. This is the base farm. Before we go look at the farm, let's do a fly around on the map real quick, and then we'll come back to the farm. Sound good? That's the way I'm going to do it. If that's not what you want, too bad. Watch somebody else's video. So here's the main farm. And we have, if you remember, this is the same silo thing that I really liked from that American map the other day. But here, it looks legit. This farm looks busy. Not tight, just busy. And I like that. Now, this is less flat than the other map, but still relatively flat. The fields definitely have some undulation to them. You can see this, right? But it's not flat. It's just less flat. It's overall generally flat. I like this one. This one looks nice. If we look at our map, here's the thing with the map, is you're like, oh, cool. It's a 4X map. Is this a 1X map or a 4X map? It's actually a 16X map. So this map is actually a 16X map. So what this person has done, and this is in the description of the map, I don't have it in front of me, but in the description of the map, basically they said that they took a 16x map and built roughly a 4x map in the middle of a 16x map. Why? I don't know. I don't know if they plan on adding to it, if they plan on using the full 16x at some point. I don't know. It seems a little weird because you actually run into some problems because you have a 16x map, but to each their own. But these fields are gigantic. Like, this is a cornfield. You can't tell until you're really close, but this is a cornfield. One cornfield that I'm standing above right now, and it's not the biggest field on the map. It's 37 hectares. Yes, 37 hectares. That's giant. Field 1 down here, which is definitely not a square field and is not going to be very worker friendly, 158 hectares. That's just gigantic. 93 hectares, 72. So again, really, really, really big fields. This one does not have no custom crops. It has a BGA that's so big that they put in 2 sets of ferment digesters. Massive cotton field. I would not want to harvest that one. But there's a lot of water on this one. A lot of waterways. And part of the reason they have the waterways is so that they can have the ferry boats, because everyone loves the ferry boats. I don't love the ferry boats, but everyone else loves the ferry boats. You've got a lighthouse here, which is weird. Normally, I see lighthouses a little bit closer to the water, but yeah. Sorry, Dale asks, can you get rid of the fences with object hider? Fences, most fences in most maps, not all, most fences in most maps are placed with the fence system. So you don't even need map object hider, you just go and delete them. If you want to... Now, some fences, like road barriers and stuff like that, are probably not going to be deletable, and you're either going to have to delete them in GE, or you're going to have to delete them in game. I've seen most maps, not all, but most maps are leaning towards the new fence system and doing all of their fences with the fence system. So, just how it is. This map doesn't appear to have very many fences. But again, we have our ferry boat dock thing, so you can take the ferry boat across. But again, this map also gets into this, like, there's a good amount of detail. Like, they didn't need to put this little boat here, but they did. This has less, like, stuff around the houses than the other game, than the other map we were playing, but it also is pretty highly detailed. So I think this kind of comes into that its own as a somewhat detailed map. Again, these are assets that are from other parts of the game, from other maps. They're just reusing, but this area is somewhat well detailed. And I think that's important. I think that's important to see, important to use, and important to, as you're playing the map, to feel like the map is full. Here's that big field. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to harvest this field. Hey, PCS, welcome in. This just, yeah, no. It's too big. It's too big for me. Some people might like it, too big for me. But even with a huge field, like, you have this little river area, which does have water in it. Little bit of water. And so it does have water in that little river area. And I love the greenery around it. That's kind of a nice touch. But not like the flowing water that was from Riverbend. We've got a secondary farm here. Pretty basic. With a couple of pig enclosures, I think. But very, very big, oddly shaped fields. So in contrast to the last map, which had very square shaped fields, this one has very odd shaped fields. So if you prefer the odd shaped fields, this one might be your map. Plenty doesn't have the extra crops, but these fields are not flat. So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for flat, go to the other map. If you're looking for kind of slightly rolling, a little bit more of a challenge, this one might be your jam. Who knows? A lot, yeah, a lot of silage. Huge grass fields. Like I couldn't even imagine harvesting those grass fields. They have a couple of these. This building, which is from Riverbend, this whole building was not usable. Well, actually, parts of it are not usable. Looks like some of it is. It looks like a transfer station to the boat, and there's a river boat that runs through here, kind of like a train. And I think it has a transfer station for the river boat. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. Where's the boat? It's not here right now. Here's your sawmill. I do like that they had you have all these rock walls, the multiple elevations. Let me get closer. This kind of stuff I like to see more of. I think it adds a nice touch, adds a nice feeling to the map. Nice big and active sawmill. Except for the fact that they use this is the sawmill thing from the base game. This is the stone thing from the base game. But they did a good job with this sawmill. It looks very similar to the sawmill that's on the RGC edit. Very similar to that. So I'm assuming that all of these assets are coming from Giants somewhere. And then here's the town for this map. So the town is a pretty dense town. This is the dairy from Riverbend. A couple of the other shops and whatnot from Riverbend. It's well decorated, not overly decorated, but well decorated. Again, a lot of this land you're not going to be able to buy, but like here's the vehicle shop. Same vehicle shop from Riverbend, for that matter. It almost looks like it's in the same place as Riverbend, which is interesting. But yeah, here's their map. It's giant. I mean, there's so much to it. And then the thing is, you come over here, and this is the edge of the map. Like, this is not part of the map, right? And it's not finished. Like, there's no ground cover out here. But the actual edge of the map, to show you the 16x size of this map, we'll put our map coordinates up. This is the actual edge of the map. Right? So, right here is the actual edge of the map. This is a full 16x map, but they're just using the center part of it. I'm not sure why. I think what they've built would fit almost perfectly in a 4x map, but maybe so it's not perfectly square. Maybe so it's a little bit more natural. Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. But if like I'm doing is the fastest movement possible in flight mode, and you can tell how big the map is by how slow I'm moving. Let's head back to the farm. We can check out the farm. I haven't actually looked at the farm yet, so this will be fun. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, big fields. Like, this many sugar beets, there's no way in hell I would ever want to do that. Like, Rusty and Bruce, you guys want to take that on? 4-meter headers? Yeah, 3 or 4 big man mowers and courseplay, no problem. Exactly. The sawmill did look too cluttered, Bruce. I agree. Alright, let's turn off flight mode. And let's check out the farm. Do we get equipment? Yeah, so it looks like we have a huge amount of equipment. Bale grabs. No. Manure forks, lots of equipment. Double trailers. Cloth harvester with a 6-meter header. That's not going to be really good. Food mixer. Fence. Square baler. A coon. Yada yada. Oh, it comes with the Kubota little front end loader. A lizard good barrier fence. I'm not sure why those are there. These are random things that for some reason I have. I'm not sure why they're owned. It's a little weird. Header trailer, mower, windrower. Sweetmaker, Rapide 580V, my favorite, and two Voltras. So this is the first map I've seen with Voltras. Nice. Let's check it out. We have some standard barns. Large cow barn with lizard automation. Nice. We saw this same cow barn on Oberschwaben. So these you can dump on the ground or you can dump up in there, but they actually don't hold enough. So the default configuration for this, you run out of hay really fast, and the other two you run out of slowly. So it's actually not configured properly, which is a little bit of a bummer. Nothing in that garage, because I went through all the trouble of opening it. We have cows. Baby cows dancing in a oddly shaped field, which is great. Great to see they've added some custom cows. Looks like it comes with food already. The food looks like... This food looks like straw, though. It doesn't look like food. So I'm not sure if that's set up wrong. That looks sketchy. So this is where a 16x map has problems. So the reason that you don't want a 16x map is if you look at these textures, we're looking up close now. These textures, like this right here, this is your, like, if you look at it from far away, this is your tire track texture. But because it's 16x, it's stretched 4 times bigger than normal, which means that it just looks horrible. So unless you're very careful about those textures on a 16x map, they will end up looking like crap. Like this is, that's an eyesore. Same here. Like these, they're too deep, they're too tall, they're too big. Like those, like tire mark things, they don't scale well. And that's something you're gonna have to, what the hell? They don't scale well. But we did get a nice big barn here. Is this a Horman barn? That's a nice barn. I haven't seen that one. More than enough space in this barn to do whatever you feel like. And again, this is that silo complex that we saw before. I actually really like the look of the silo complex. I wonder, I haven't tried yet. Can you go up the stairs? Nope. I mean, you can. If you really try, you can go up the stairs and get on top of the silo complex. But that one's hard to do because the railings don't have collisions. So that one's hard to climb up. And this one is a little bit... I don't know if that's too tall. I feel like this should be down a level. Whatever. And then we have another barn over here. I'm assuming this is going to be where our equipment is, because we have equipment, but we don't know where any of it is. So we've got the Kubota here with plenty of bales ready to go. These are hay bales. They look like barf bales. And this shed opens up into this shed. I'm assuming it's meant to have all of these open. This is our wash bay. Wait, what? Yeah, wash and maintenance bay right there. Nice. Our mowing shed. Plenty of room for 3 or 4 Big M mowers in there. And here's our harvester and our Valtras. I'll get the one that's most black. We'll drive around in that one a little bit. So yeah, here's our farm. It's an interesting layout. A lime station on the farm that you can buy your lime. I would replace that with one of my lime stations, but that's just me. Double silage clamp with a little bit of a slope. Don't go down into it, which is not bad. Looks good. There's a double square silage clamp, and there's also a pull-through silage clamp, which is an odd combination. Normally you'd see one or the other, but not both at the same time. But considering the amount of grass on this map, or like if you bought this cornfield and wanted to chaff it, yeah, that's a lot of field. Let's go to the menu and see what the menu's got. And then we'll drive around a little bit more. So overall, there's only, what's 41? 41 is these grassy areas. So you can buy each of the open grassy areas. That's not what I wanted to do. And the forestry areas, you can buy the forestry areas. They're 900K. Again, remember this is a 4X map, so, or a 16X map. So what we're looking at is pretty much 4X. So I'm just going to call it a 4X map. So even though this is $556,000, the amount of trees in that area is going to be more than enough. No extra crops. The entire middle of the map is ready to harvest. Good luck with that. Not all of it needs lime. My goodness. It's a lot of it needs lime. Standard crop calendar. Doesn't look like they added the crop calendar. You have some cows. They're brown Swiss. But you've only got 4 of them. That's fine. And they're going to need some food soon. They do have meadow, so that's okay. We do have contracts. No custom NPCs. Contracts, again, like a mowing contract. This is up 50%, so $75,000 for a mowing contract. And if you did the mowing contract, if you have contract boost installed, you can just steal all the grass, which is going to be an obscene amount of grass to steal. So cool. And then for productions, we do have some actual productions on here, which is good. So we have a bakery, carpentry, and a sawmill. That's it. So wood and a bakery. I would hope there's also, wait, hold on. Hold, please. Wasn't there a dairy? I haven't driven around this map yet, so I don't know anything. Yeah, there's a dairy. So let's go to 31. I like how when you teleport to the field, you teleport to the corner of the field. I actually like that. Yeah, this is a dairy. Tight roads for a big map. Pretty dang tight roads. So unfortunately, it looks like they included the dairy building, but it's not a production. That's a bummer. And then this is the other thing you're going to get with a 16X map. You see how like the grass here is in these like kind of zippery kind of chunks, right? Like that. Like this right here is the smallest thing you can paint down on this map. So they built a dairy, they added a dairy, but it's not a dairy because there's no production. Normally you'd have a thing to be able to buy this as a production. It looks like it has a drop-off point, a sell point, but that's it. So it's a little bit of a bummer they didn't take the time to turn those things into productions, because I would expect that, especially. I mean, a lot of map authors are leaning into the farming side of things and treating their maps as if it was FS19. Like before there were like a lot of productions and stuff, right? Like I don't understand why we're ignoring the production side of things. It's a little bit of a bummer, honestly. And especially for a map this big, you're going to want to keep yourself busy with some productions to enhance your profits. This is also using stuff straight off of Riverbend Springs, so some of it, like Like, this is just decoration. It's not even an actual sawmill. Which is... okay. Sorry. Bummer. And then here's your store. And the store looks like it's a kind of an afterthought. There's not much decoration here. Which is a bummer. But it is what it is. But that's the map. Honestly, there's not much else to see. There's only one farm on the map. Well, there's that second farm. There's a pig farm down... where was it? Down here. So, field 2. Let's go look at that other farm. I didn't get a chance to look at the other farm yet. I don't know what's playing the music. This time I... wait, hold on. Why do I own this field? Hold on. So your farm... let's look at this. You start off owning this big farm up here. You don't own any of the fields near you. But then you own this big wheat field all the way down here. Oh, you also own this. So this is the other half of your farm. I get it. Which is why I'm plowing a line through a wheat field. The foliage bending here is a little messed up. And this is the other thing you're going to get with a 16X. Your foliage bending, you're not going to have tracks. You're going to like a swath. Because it's a 16X map. And that's one of the other downsides of having this as a 16X map. What is this? Is this just a bale storage, I guess? Horses. So we got a horse barn. Yay. Let's buy a horse. Buy. Yep, horse barn. And we have cows down here. But wait, hold on. Oh, I see. I'm still not used to the way they list the animals. So we have a cow barn with the lizard with the feeder, and so there's 2 cow barns, 3 cow barns. So you own 3 cow barns. You have a lot of animals to feed on this map. But again, this right here, I don't like the look of that. Like, that right there gives me an eyesore. And I think part of this is because of the 16X map. So there's a little bit of like results of the fact that they decided to use a 16X map, including the swath that we just cut across this field as we were driving through it, which I can't find. Oh, here's our there's our forage wagon. And here's another cow barn. So with a milking robot, which is good. I don't know, it's this interesting decision on this map. You've got a lot of land, you've got a lot of stuff to do, and it's gonna take you a while to do most of it because the fields are just so incredibly big. Going back to the subject, is it ready? Right? We were talking about that before. Yes, it's a big map. Is it ready for play? I really wish the author had done this as a 4X map. Specifically for this reason right here. This one reason. If you look at the PDA in this mode, you're seeing 2/3 of the map that you can't even use. To me, that's a bummer. I would rather be zoomed in more, so when I look at the overhead view of a map, I can see where I'm going. This, not so much of a fan. I just, not as much of a fan. They did do the trees lining the road, which looks good, but they used the really, really big trees. These are like the giant trees as far as the game's concerned. One thing we didn't look at, let me look at real quick, is, yeah, you're not going to be able to merge fields. And that's going to be the big problem with this map, is you have to play with the fields the way they are. Because if you look, this farmland and this farmland are next to each other. And even though there are trees in between... no, 8 is not one of the numbers. Even though there's trees in between, you could not merge these two properties together because you can't ever own this spot of land that I'm driving down the middle of. So even though I own what's to the right and what's to the left, I can't merge them. I can't cut down these trees because that land is unbuyable. Unless I can... Actually, let's make sure. GS farmland. Buy all. Yep. It's not buyable. So you see how like a lot of the land is highlighted in bright green right now? If you see the stuff that's not bright green, you can't buy that stuff. So you can't buy this forest here, you can't buy this here, you can't buy that here, you can't buy the town, you can't buy that there. You can't buy the forest around your main farm, you can't buy up here. You can't buy over here. You can't buy this island over here or this forest over here. So there's a significant amount of land on this map that you can't buy. And I'm going to do one more teleport here. We'll go to 44. So the forest area, we didn't look at the forest, so there is some forestry available. The forests look nice, honestly. This is not a bad forest. We have a good variety of trees. All of them are tree harvestable. I'm not seeing any smaller non-tree harvestable trees in these forests. Wide paths through the forest. Get rid of this HUD thing. The roads through the forest are nice. Actually, no. I almost lied. Actually, no. That one is harvestable. So some of these trees, I don't know if it's just me, but like this one right here, this Manchurian red pine, is that one harvestable? I don't think so. All right, so let me see if I can drive through here. I have to zoom in to be able to dodge the trees. Can you drive? Oh, and the ground is not smooth either. That's a nice touch. And here is the forest area, and the roads are not smooth coming through here. There's a little bit of uppity-buppity, but that's fine. They're not flat either, so careful about tipping your trailer driving on this road. That could be problematic. Plenty of good value trees, though. These ones right here, the lodgepole pines, are going to be the most value for selling. So you get a significant amount of forestry on these areas. You think it's harvestable? I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many maps use that really big one. This is a very steep trail. You might want to flatten this out a little bit, but that's once you own it. But then again, you can't flatten it out because you can't buy the roads. So that would be my one big downside with this map. But I mean, you could hide in the forest over here and just do forestry and never go see any of the big fields if you wanted. There's plenty of trees here. I think it's also going to mean that we're not going to be able to place any trees. Yeah, too many trees. So we can't place any trees even though we own the land because there's too many trees on the map. So just a heads up, you're going to want to play with the More Trees mod, which is one of the first ones that came out if you're on this map. Because, yeah. overall, this one is nice-ish. There's a few things that are interesting. I really wish that there would be more stuff applied to a few maps. Now, the one thing I did hear, and I don't remember which map I heard it that was on, but one of these maps, if you guys remember, one of these maps, there is a map that's out or coming out soon that actually has one of the construction projects, like the map level construction projects from Riverbend, like the playground. Okay, so the light poles have collisions, but the road signs do not. Just so you know. Central Cafe. Willow Lumber Company. Does that mean this is a carpentry? Yep. There you go. Carpentry drop off, or drop off over here. Pallet pickup over there. That's a tight corner to get around with a big rig trailer. I would not want to try to do that in a big rig. You'd be running people over. Sorry, lady. So would I play this map? Maybe. But I really wish it was a 4X. Honestly, I don't think there's any reason at this point for it to be a 16X. You don't gain anything by it being a 16X, and I think you only have negatives because it was a 16X. That said, I understand from a map development standpoint that converting this back down to a 4X might be hard. It might be problematic. It might take a lot of work. I think the map author did a pretty good job with the roads and the textures and the look and feel and the decoration. I think it's really good. Overall, it has a good feeling. It is a 4 to 16X map. So, yeah. All right, you guys have any questions? Anything you want me to look at? Let me know in the chat. I'll answer Steve's question. So, officially, and from the way most people look at it, there's only 4 sizes of maps, really. There's a regular size map, which is 1x. So 1x, x referring to one standard size map. So instead of using standard size map, I'm just going to use the letter x. So 1x, one standard size map, which is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. A 4x map is 4 standard. I don't have my camera on. I went all the work to get my camera working and even turn on. A 4x map is 4 standard size maps next to each other. In a grid. Think of like a Rubik's Cube, right? And the Rubik's Cube is a good example. So a 4x map is 4 standard size maps in a grid. So what that means is that it's 4 kilometers on each side. So 4 kilometers north-south, 4 kilometers east-west, right? A 16x map would be the next typical size up, which is 16 standard size maps. And if each of those standard size maps is 2 kilometers per, you have a grid of 16 maps. So 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Whatever. So it would be 4 across by 4 high maps, not kilometers, but maps. So each side of that map would be 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. A 16x map is 8 kilometers on each side. 64x map keeps going. 64x map is 16 kilometers on each side, or 8 regular standard size maps along the bottom edge and 8 along the up and down edge, filled in 64x maps. 64 standard size maps in one grid. Now, most map authors and most people on the internet love to argue this point, that those are the only ones available and you can't make anything else, which is false. I know for a fact because I have maps that are not those sizes on my hard drive. I have a 6x map on my hard drive. And you're like, how the frick do you get 6x maps? It's 6 standard maps. It's like 5,248 kilometers on each side. multiply that like 6, like it would be, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. You can have them pretty much any size. So technically, if you could do the math, you could make an 8x map, but it doesn't get into perfectly sized grids. The other one that I'm planning on making that most people don't think is possible, but I do, is, and I'm hoping that I'm right, honestly, is I want to make a 9x map. Now, a 9x map would be a standard size map in the middle, and just like tic-tac-toe grid, 9 standard size maps in a square, which means that each side would be 6 kilometers. So 6 kilometers by 6 kilometers. Overall size of the map would be 9x. Totally possible. It's just math. And then the other one that I want to do on that same map, actually, I want to make a 25x map. So 5 standard size maps across, 5 standard size maps up and down. Make a grid, that's 25 standard size maps, which means that each side would be 10 kilometers. So 10 kilometers by 10 kilometers. So 100 square kilometers, which would actually be a 25x map. And I believe that it's possible. I haven't made one yet, but I do have other sizes that most people don't think are possible. Yeah, see? Spring Creek 25. So it is possible, but people love to argue with me on this. And it's like one of those kind of hot topics if I say something in a live stream like, oh yeah, 4x map is not the biggest, or like you can have other sizes. People like, no, that's not true. There's no reason why you couldn't. There's no reason why you couldn't have a 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer map. Right? So if you have a standard size map, 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, why couldn't you have a 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer map? Is there a reason? Can anyone give me a logistical reason? That would be like a 2.25x map. Right? Because it would be like 1.5 standard size maps per side. It would be a weird size. Part of the reason that a lot of those other weird sizes don't work is because pixels and the way the map renders individual pixels on the map. So a 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer map probably wouldn't work. But I have a 6 kilometer by 6 kilometer map on my hard drive. It's technically whatever that is. Not a 36x map, it's 36 is a 12x map. So 36 divided by 4, so it'd be a 12x map. It's totally possible to make different sizes. So back to this map. Do I think it's ready? Sure. I think this map is ready to play. It's a little bit... It could use a few more productions to meet with the Farm Sim standards for productions and yada yada. But overall, I think it's good. What do you guys think? Would you play this map or the other one? I think this one is good if you like big fields. I would never want to harvest this many sugar beets, but somebody might. I like the fact that this one has the rolling hills and it includes the waterways and includes the waterways in unique ways. Like this little pond in the middle of a field for no reason. Yeah, that's a good point. Will it be usable? Will it be playable? Will it be playable to a normal person on a normal PC? Some of them, maybe not. It really depends on how detailed those maps are. We've seen 16x maps that were the same file size as a 4x map. It depends on literally how big the fields are and how much detail is on the map. And if you've got just really big fields and big open plains and nothing special, then you could probably play a 64x map on a high-end PC. So I don't know. I actually also want to make smaller maps. I want to make a 0.25x map just to mess with people's heads. Like I want to make a map that's literally a quarter of a base game map. There's no reason why I can't. I'm going to try for sure. But that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to delete these maps off my hard drive and go back to to making some mods for you guys. This has been fun. I really enjoy seeing these new maps and seeing what the map authors have in store for us. I do hope that both this map and the other map make it to Mod Hub. Right now, they're on other places. You can tell the difference between the Fed Action town and this town right here. So the Fed Action map, this one is like getting there from a decorations perspective. But if you look, it's just like the grass is all the same. It's not decorated as much. They use a lot of weird fences. But I don't know. I think the Fed Action map was decorated much better than this. And so if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose to play the Fed Action one because it's decorated better. For me, that's a selling point. For this map, I would play the Fed Action one. Let's put it this way. I would love to play the Fed Action one in multiplayer once the productions are ready. I think that would be really awesome. This one I probably wouldn't play just because, yeah, not a fan of the huge fields. We'll see. Well, you know, it is what it is. We'll see. Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing what Renaboo is, or the new version of Renaboo, what that looks like. I think it's going to look fantastic. From what I've seen so far from all those map tours so far, I think it's going to be really good. Bummer it's smaller, but it is what it is. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for jumping in. Eric, I'm sorry. I'm just finishing up. But thank you, everyone, for coming along. I hope everyone enjoyed seeing these maps. If you have any questions, anything I can answer, feel free to reach out. Best way to get in touch with me is this... What? No. No, what are you doing? Discord. Discord. Best way to reach me is Discord. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll catch everyone next time. I want to say a special thank you to all of the members of the channel, which are all listed here on this new kind of ending screen. The always involved group are the ones who are giving the most towards the channel and helping this channel grow. There's also a bunch of other awesome individuals. Everyone gets special access in my Discord to members only chat. And there's also a few extra people here on this list, the Amazing Impact people with Dust Money and Sailbilly and By Now, John, they're donating money directly to the channel, and I wanted to give a special shout out to say thank you. I hope everyone enjoys the stream and everyone enjoys what you've seen. And if these are the kind of maps you want to play, let me know in the comments below. Post a comment after the video is over and be like, yeah, I'm totally playing that map. Thank you for touring it. It means a lot, and it helps the channel grow. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.